We'd like to get an update of where you are specifically in making reductions to meet the budget. What are some figures of the cuts and what items are cut? And what else is under consideration for cuts? And how much more reduction in dollars is going to be needed to meet the budget?
So at our last meeting that we had on March 20th, we were sitting at a roughly about $5.5 million of a budget deficit. So what we've done now is open up negotiations with the DASA unit, with the DE, ESP unit and DE, because we now know that we're unable to fulfill that obligation of providing raises for the staff across Dorchester County Public Schools. So that was roughly $3.5 million. So if we don't honor that, which we're in negotiations to how much of that we can honor, if we can't honor any of that, that's another $3.5 million that will be gone from the budget. So that will get us roughly to about $2 million. And then we have to cut 12 to 24 positions. But there attrition, we did do one thing that we didn't speak about at the last budget meeting, that we offer a retirement incentive for people to retire early. So some people have been retiring, so that's helping out. Attrition is also going to help out of different positions that people that resign, so we won't open those positions back up. So like I said last time at our budget meetings, 12 to 24 positions that we got to cut, and we're looking at the positions to cut now while we're negotiating with DE and all the bargaining units. So we'll have a definitive number, or not a definitive number, or start to have some type of idea of what positions we're specifically cutting at our next budget meeting, which is April 17th, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, April 17th at our next budget meeting. So we'll have some finite areas of cuts that we're going to make.
Well, along with looking into staff reductions, the district will be opening up negotiations with its staff representatives because the school system can't or currently honor the step increases in the cost of living adjustment. The district could potentially save $3.5 million through these negotiations. But how likely do you think the staff representatives are to accept this? And what could it do to staff morale?
It could have an impact on staff morale, obviously, when you're not getting the increases that was promised to you. But I think that the bargaining unit, not I think, but the bargaining units have been such great partners in collaboration with this whole entire process of understanding where we are. So that's been one good thing. They've been very open and they've been providing feedback. So it's not like we're just going around arbitrarily making cuts. The cuts that we're going to make, they've been active participants in giving us feedback and collaborating with us in specific cuts that we could possibly make. So nothing that we're doing is totally oblivious to the bargaining units. They have been a great partner in collaborating with us the entire time with the cuts as well as the increases in funding. However, if we're able to make some cuts and decrease the decrease the step increases, hopefully, and this is a big hope that we have some money left over to where we'll be able to still give a step or something, some type of money to the staff. We don't know where we are yet. We can't promise anything, but it's in hopes that we're able to still give something at the end of the day.
We also want to get your outlook for raising DCPS's rank among the state's counties now that you've had to scale back academics and support.
Good question. I don't want us as a county, it's easy to say, okay, since we are making cuts and reducing staff, that we're not going to get to 15 from our current standard of 23. I don't want to use it as an excuse. All this means to me is it's an unfortunate situation, rifting positions and not giving staff their increases is detrimental. It's definitely a blow, but I don't want us to lose focus of still getting to 15. That means that we have to professionally train the staff that we have, and we have to keep our eyes focused on the ultimate goal of moving to 15. We can't get lost because we have so many other things going on. Even though these things are detrimental to our system, I still think that we can move forward by training our staff. I still think we can move forward by making sure that we're doing everything possible for our staff to be successful, not making excuses as to why we can't get to 15 because we have a lot of other things that can easily detract us from our ultimate goal, but I don't want that to be a detractor. We still have the ultimate goal of getting to 15, and we just have to do the best we can with what we're given as a district without making excuses, because it's going to be easy to make excuses to say this is why we're not going to get to 15 because X, Y, and Z is happening. But I don't want to make those excuses. I still want to have our mind focused on getting to 15 and doing the best we can do with what we're given.
We'd like to know what it was like for the Viking boys basketball team to win the state title. How did the students react, and what has that done for morale in a struggling school district?
I think that has been it has provided a great boost to our district for them winning the basketball 1A state championship. It was awesome. And having done, I actually went to the game, so it was so exciting, and I was just so into the game, and you could see the community that came to the game. Everyone was just so excited, so involved in the game. I think it's definitely a push, adrenaline shot for our community and our school system to have our boys win. And I think that gave us some momentum to keep building on. Of course, we still have to get to our academics, but having our different teams win and having a boys basketball team specifically win the state championship is definitely a boost. And I would say this, that sports are a very integral part of high school and high school overall, and just as a district, it's very important to have sports. And I think that once you start to have little wins like that, once you start to have wins like that, that can be contagious, and you can start winning across multiple fronts in your school district. So I think it's a start of something that's more to come in the future for Dorchester County, of having more wins than losses.
At the board meeting, the Board of Education meeting on March 25th, the textbook Freedom on My Mind, A History of African Americans, was presented for adoption. Was that book adopted, and why is it important for our students to use?
It was adopted. I think for us, the reason why we're going, there's other neighboring counties that are also having an AP studies program. We have to expand our blueprint expansion into AP courses. So we added that course. And I think it's also good for people to have different perspectives, for students to have different perspectives and learning different information. To me, when you have only learned certain pieces of information, it makes you a better person if you know a lot about everything. And I think that is just, having that AP course is just something else added into the repertoire for students to learn more information and have different perspectives.